Cherringham, Episode 47, Silent Night, Stolen Night. Written by Matthew Costello and Neil Richards, narrated by Neil Dudgeon. Chapter 1. 'Tis the Season. Liam Byrne sat on the floor of the cramped caravan, pulling on the laces of his work boots, tying them tight. "You got your phone charged, yeah?" came Shannon's voice from the tiny sitting area. He leaned forward so he could see her, all wrapped up in a duvet, cushions plumped up around her, string of cheap Christmas lights twinkling on the little plastic tree. The TV on loud, some reality show he knew. "Yeah," he said, getting up and pulling on his parka. "Don't worry, babe." "I do worry," she said. "What if something happens and you're not here?" He went over to her, leaned in to give her a squeeze. Her face glowed these days. "Listen, nothing's going to happen tonight, right? You're not due for another week." "Oh yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Tons of people say a baby can come just like that, out of nowhere, bang." Liam wasn't sure bang was quite the right word. He laughed and kissed her on the cheek. "Just trust me, okay?" he said, stepping back, zipping up the parka. "Not going to happen tonight for sure, and anyway, I won't be out for long." "You better not be, or you know what I'll do." "Ha ha, promises," said Liam, raising his eyebrows. "Hey, you can forget about any of that stuff for years," said Shannon, and he saw her smile, softening. "So where you meeting this bloke, anyway?" "Railway Arms." "Oh, that place. But it's a serious job offer, yeah?" "Very serious." "Well, you make sure you stay on the zero stuff, no drinking and driving." Liam grinned at her. "Straight and narrow, me." "Ha! Only since I've been around to keep an eye on you." Liam picked up the green elf hat from the side, put it on her head, switched it on, the lights flashing. "And see, that's why I love you," he said, grinning. "My guardian angel. Too right, you need one." He walked over to the door, picked up the car keys from the hook. "Got enough petrol?" she said. "Put a fiver in yesterday." A fiver, about all they could afford in one go. For a second Liam remembered the times he used to fill his big old Mitsubishi Shogun, spend £100, not even think about it. Now we worry if 5's enough or if we can stretch to 10, he thought. And that thought convinced him even more that what he was going to do tonight absolutely had to be done. It's all about survival, he thought, especially with a kid coming. "See you later, babes," he said, keeping up his grin as best he could. Then he pulled up the hood of his parka, opened the door, and stepped out into the chilly darkness. Outside, he closed the door tight and stood still, aware that this was one of those, what do you call them? Yeah, sliding door moments. Because there was still time to turn around, go back in, tell Shannon that the bloke had called, right, and the serious job offer was suddenly off, and then he could just cuddle up with her under that duvet, watch TV, pretend that something would turn up after Christmas. As if. He watched his breath drifting away in little clouds, catching the dim light from the caravan. The ground was frozen hard and white, the snow compacted for days now, and up above he could see the stars shining bright in the clear, dark night sky. Clear, but so cold. "Nah," he thought, "nothing else is going to turn up. Gotta be done." He crossed the farmyard towards their battered old Toyota parked up next to Pete Butterworth's estate. He glanced across the yard at Lowcop's farm, the downstairs windows glowing. He could see the farmer and his wife Becky curled up on the sofa watching TV, the fireplace deep with burning logs, their big old Christmas tree, touching the ceiling in the corner. Now that's the life, he thought. Liam blinked, then forced himself to get a move on towards the icy shape of the car. Until a few months ago, that had been exactly the kind of life that he and Shannon had been living. Nice, comfy house, big car outside, bright future. Never thought we could lose it so fast, he thought. Now they were camped out in Pete's farmyard, a 30-foot trailer for a home, the farmer being so generous, but with them still watching every penny and only eating thanks to the food bank. He took out the scraper from his pocket, cleared the ice off all the windows of the car, then climbed in and turned the key, hoping the damn thing wouldn't let him down. The engine coughed and sputtered to life. Only then did he check the gauge. Less than a quarter full. Damn. But should be enough, he thought. Then he flicked on the headlights and started heading away from the farm, the worn tyres barely gripping, up the road to Winsham Hill, and beyond that, on to Cherringham. Liam drove slowly and carefully up Cherringham High Street, taking care not to draw attention to the car, safely inside the speed limit, nice and slow. The village looked so festive, yesterday's heavy snow still banking the sides of the street, lights strung across the fronts of all the shops, most twinkling red and green, others with simple white bulbs. The village's big Christmas trees stood tall, all lit up. As he drove past the Angel, he could see the pricey place was packed. Of course it would be, just a couple of days till Christmas. And he remembered, only last year he and Shannon had met up there for drinks with a bunch of pals, stayed late by that fire, knocking back whiskies until all of them tumbled out into the snow after, throwing snowballs like kids. Good times. Happy times. He carried on now up past Market Square, then turned off onto Well Lane, found a snow-filled space to park and killed the engine. Doing exactly as the bloke Des had told him, park somewhere quiet, no street lights, no CCTV. He got out of the Toyota, locked it, then walked back to the high street, feet crunching on the frozen snow. Took a right as if heading out of town. He kept walking, hands in pockets, head down, but eyes always scanning the street ahead. Nobody would be out tonight, too damn cold for that, but even here, the street dark, he didn't want to take a chance bumping into somebody he knew. That would be bad. Then he spotted a car parked ahead, a big black Audi pulled up onto this side of the road. As Liam approached, the lights flashed once. The signal. Heart beating faster now, Liam popped open the passenger door. Another sliding doors moment. No turning back now. Liam had already made his mind up. He climbed into the passenger seat, buckled the seat belt. "You're late," said Des. "I'm here, aren't I?" said Liam, not looking at him. A pause, Liam staring straight ahead, the Christmas lights of Cherringham twinkling on the distant high street. "All right," said Des. "So, let's do this." As Des started the Audi's engine and pulled away, Liam leaned back against the leather. There was no going back. Chapter 2. How the Other Half Live. It took them 20 minutes to reach Bourton-on-the-Water, Des, both hands locked on the steering wheel, talking football as the car glided along the icy roads. But Liam didn't say much back. All he wanted was to get this over with. As they turned into the high street, he saw the restaurants and pubs were now closing up, just a handful of people still out, all probably shivering as they gazed at the Christmas tree that rose from the river Windrush, the lights sparkling on the water. All right for some, thought Liam, watching the groups taking selfies in front of the lights. Happy holidays. Yeah, and soon they'd be heading home to their cosy firesides or maybe their posh hotel rooms, kids all excited, Christmas Day just a couple of days away. They moved along the high street, only now Des slowed right down, the car creeping along. "OK, Liam, here we go," he said, nodding to a house on a corner, coming up on the driver's side. "Check it out." Liam didn't need to be told which house was the house. He'd spent long enough in the summer working on it, 8 o'clock morning start, 6 o'clock finish on a good day, 5 days a week, sometimes even 6. Worst job of his life, working at the Marchmont's place. And here he was again, though not to do any work.